That Preview Series presented by OTGBasketball.com. Follow OTG on Twitter at OTG Basketball. I'm your host, Nick Fay. Joining us once again, Matthew Handel. What's up, Matthew?
What's up, Nick? Thanks for having me back.
No problem. It's a pleasure. And Harris, we're into the top two. How's it going?
It's going real well. Excited to have Matt back again. And, you know, again, as I say every podcast, all the support, retweets, mentions, all that stuff is greatly appreciated because we've had a real great time breaking down all 30 NBA teams. We're down to number 2, the defending NBA champs. I've always believed that the team that won should be number 1 next year. Our writers disagree with that because of the Durant move, but the Cleveland Cavaliers coming at number 2.
All right, I'm going to brag a little bit right now. Last year, I put the Cavs – I did the power rankings myself for the preview series. I had the Cavs number 1 because I thought they would win the NBA Finals, and they did. So, shout myself out right there. But I'm
humble
pretty
brag. That's a very
Good
humble
job, Nick. Good job.
Yeah, I don't care. So, I'll take that. No shame over here.
But, yeah, I agree with you.
It's hard not to have the Warriors as a favorite going into the season. I'm not going to give you my NBA Finals prediction on this episode, but I definitely could see a situation where the Cavs win again. But I'll ask you, Matthew, what do you think of this ranking?
I think it's spot on. I kind of feel like, Harris, you have a good point that maybe they should, defending champs should get that number 1. But I mean, I can't blame them with the Durant move. So I like the number 2. Realistically, I mean, it'd be easy to be like, well, they won it last year. Let's throw him at number 1, but I like him at the number 2 spot.
Well, everyone knows it's no secret that I'm a very big fan of Curry, and that's been the case, as I spoke about in maybe last podcast, or I've spoke with you guys about, since 2009. But when you talked about LeBron and Curry, because that's obviously a big discussion last year, with the Warriors up 3-1, and if they close the series, we're actually able to we could have some legitimate reason to believe that Curry might be the best basketball player in the world. Now, some people would still say you're crazy. LeBron does more. He's better at this. He's more of a rebounder. He has more impact on the team. But if you take Curry away from the Warriors, they just become very good. They're not exceptional. Like, they struggled a little bit with Houston. They struggled a little bit with Portland. They're still a very good team. Now, if you take LeBron off the Cavs, they become like maybe a 500 or a little bit better than 500 in the East. So it was fun to look at that dynamic, and it annoyed me that Rihanna posted about it because she knows nothing about basketball. so stick to what you're good at, as I like to say.
Shots at Rihanna.
Yeah, you know what? She had a lot of good songs for her, but this was one of her lower moments, calling LeBron Bay, and she knows that LeBron is a married man. So that was kind of
selfish.
Uncomfortable for. But no, being up 3-1 in all seriousness for the Warriors and not being able to close is disappointing for a Curry guy. But LeBron proved to me that he still is the best player on the planet. But I think it's a little – and we can maybe talk about this for a minute or two. I still think it's closer than people think now because, listen, the team was up 3-1. They should have closed the series.
I mean I don't think it's as close as people think. I mean, I don't think it's like super far away, but LeBron's impact on the game from like end to end, both sides of the floor, he can do everything. Even if he starts hitting his 3-point shot, like you can't really defend him.
Right. But
So
that's a big if. That's a very big if for me.
Even if he doesn't hit it, he's still dominating the game. Like he's found ways to dominate the game without his 3-point shot. His impact just as a passer, I think, is so great. It's people don't realize it. And as a rebounder and as a defensive player. I think the biggest knock I would have on Curry would probably be, like he doesn't have a huge impact if like his shooting is really bad. Like if he's having an off night shooting wise, he can impact the game, but it's not as great an impact if LeBron's having an off shooting night.
I think one of the biggest things that makes people jump to the quick conclusion that, maybe Curry is better than LeBron finally is the style of play. Like you kind of talked about, Curry, to me, he's definitely the most exciting player to watch without a doubt. I mean, Russell's, right there, but Curry can just hit, super deep threes, all flashy passes, all this. But LeBron just does his quiet, he does his greatness, kind of a little bit quieter than Curry. And I think that goes unnoticed. But I do think it is a lot closer in these last couple of years.
Well, this is why I'm going to defend him. I'm not going to be overly emotional about it, even though he's my favorite player. But the thing that Colin Cowherd said of him just being a shooter, I'm kind of getting upset just hearing that again. Like,
That's not true.
No, he's not just a shooter.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy has an exceptional ability to handle the basketball. When you have a handle like his, you could get to spots on the floor. Like Klay Thompson benefits from Steph on the floor. Draymond Green is better with Steph on the floor. Like, yes, he's a great shooter. And he's only 6'3", 185. Also better defensively, I think, than people give him credit for. Westbrook and Durant laugh at him. That's cool and all, but you guys blew a 3-1 series lead. So he gets in passing lanes sometimes. He knows how to pick his spots. He's good in transition. He'll dunk on like once every 20 games, which is good for him. So I personally think his basketball IQ, he's Steve Nash on steroids to me.
By the way, sorry about that, Harris.
No, it's all good. You got it.
By the way, going back to how Cowherd called him out for just being a shooter, if you look at his stats, he's 6.9 assists per game, 1.8 steals. So I don't know how you could, sit there and just say that he's, just a shooter. Because
people want to get offended when we say that he's as good as LeBron, because it was just like the Jordan thing. Like anybody who gets compared to the best player in the game, people want to say, oh, no, nobody could ever pet. His size works against him for sure, but I think he does as much as he possibly can with the body that he was given.
And like we talked about, I think it was on the Trailblazers because we were talking about like the underdog and stuff. You were right when you said that he's not like the most like physically dominating, or he doesn't look like a crazy athlete like LeBron or Russell. So I think that like you're right that goes unnoticed. And just because he's not a freak athlete doesn't mean that he's not, a great player.
I think
and can do some athletic things.
I think LeBron's still the better player. I just think it's a little closer than people think.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Well, save that for another day. We could go on all day about LeBron versus Curry. But let's talk offseason. The Cavs, they did have some moves this year. Obviously, they had to re-sign LeBron and J.R. Smith. We obviously knew that was probably going to happen. But addition-wise, they added Chris Anderson, Mike Dunleavy, who they got pretty much for nothing. They also have some undrafted guys and, some guys that are trying to fight for a roster spot, like Markel Brown or Corey Jefferson. What do you guys think about the Anderson and Dunleavy moves?
I like bringing in, because obviously we know that Chris Anderson's, super tough guy down low. He's going to do, like we saw in Miami when he played with LeBron, just higher energy, a lot of toughness. And then I talked about when the Bulls let Dunleavy go. I loved what Dunleavy did just from the standpoint that he's the veteran. He knows what it takes to win. Kind of like Richard Jefferson in a way. Like he'll shoot the three sometimes, but he'll just do exactly what you need. And I think that, they were a couple of smart moves from the Cavs.
Yeah, for sure. I thought the Dunleavy move was very underrated. It gives him a really good floor spacer. And if Dunleavy's healthy, he can really help this team. And Anderson, he's one of LeBron's guys. He's played with him before. He gives him some nice presence in the paint of a veteran to have because, talking about it, they lost Timothy Mozgov, so they need another big man to fill up that bench. They also lost Matthew Dellavedova, who played some solid minutes for them, and Sasha Khan, who never really played much.
Yeah, I don't see anything that they really missed too much. I mean, this is a team now. The scariest thing about LeBron is after he wins a title the following year, because this is a guy that's been to the finals 7 times and has lost 4 times, and then is quoted as saying, "I'd rather not make the playoffs than lose in the finals," which to me is a strange thing to say because anytime you get to the finals, it's great for your resume. I know he wants to be Michael Jordan. I don't think he ever will be, but that's besides the point. LeBron, after a finals win, is dangerous as ever because he's more relaxed. So Kevin Love's more relaxed. Kyrie Irving's more relaxed. They're not going to miss him. Dunleavy's a great pickup, I think. That's a good outside perimeter guy to have. Remember, this guy was a 3rd pick overall in the draft. People forget about that from Duke. So he's a smart player. He's going to help them a lot. Channing Frye helped them a little bit last year. He'll help them again. To me, the most underrated player in all of basketball is Tristan Thompson. I think he does an amazing amount for them. He cleans up a lot of their defensive inefficiencies with his ability to rebound the ball and block shots. So I think they're going to be just fine. They did pick up JR again. And Shumpert's back, right? Shumpert's back. Yeah. So they'll have a solid 8 or 9 man rotation. Early in the year, they'll feature 10 guys probably. Dellavedova was actually a guy that gave Curry fits. I don't want to say fits. That's exaggerating, but
he annoyed him.
He annoyed him a little bit, exactly.
But I think they can miss Delly a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Mo Williams might have retired. I'm not sure about that. That was like a thing that I wasn't sure. But I think Delly had some solid minutes at point guard, especially with Kyrie. You know, he misses a few games here and there. So that backup point guard spot, there could be an issue there. But they have other players who could kind of fill in as a playmaker at that position.
Yeah. I was reading today from I think a Cavaliers website. But I think Kay Felder, he's from Oakland. He's 5'9", super athletic.
Second round pick.
Yeah. I think for right now, I think they said going into the season he's going to be the backup point guard. And he was actually one of the players, I think, going into the season. You know, I don't know. Like, you know, don't put my word out at the end of the season if I'm totally wrong. But I think going into the season, he has potential just being on the team that, you know, there's so many superstars and, you know, so much pressure on them. I think he can kind of fly under the radar and
he won't get much attention at all.
Yeah, he could take advantage of a good situation.
For sure. Yeah, one guy I want to talk about is Kyrie Irving. One of our writers, actually Brett Carroll, he wrote an article about how he thinks Kyrie could be set up for an MVP-type season. You know, LeBron said in the past he thinks Kyrie can be MVP. Do you think that's a possibility right now or even in the future that Kyrie could be an MVP candidate, especially from what he showed in the finals and the playoffs?
I think that as long as he's playing alongside LeBron, I don't think he's going to win MVP. I think, you know, obviously last year in those finals, it was, you know, he stepped up in the biggest way. Obviously that shot in Game 7 just put the nail in the coffin. But I think he's going to have a better year than last year overall. I think throughout the entire season, more consistency. And maybe LeBron gives him a little bit more. He kind of delegates a little bit more of the pressure from the offensive standpoint, because I think Kyrie is one of the best scoring point guards in the league. You know, I think we can agree on that.
For sure.
But I don't think that it's going to be an MVP type season. I don't think he'll even be in the top 5 to finish.
Well, LeBron is the most influential player in American professional sports right now. I say that because 66 wins in 2009, 61 in 2010. Then think about this drop-off. 19, 21, 24, and 33. He comes back. 53, 57. They make both finals. If those guys don't get hurt, they could be back-to-back champions. So LeBron wants something to happen. Like, they're probably going to win 60-plus just because they're going to continue to improve in under Lou. And we'll maybe touch on David Blatt being the Squidward of SpongeBob and Patrick's Party and the best meme of the finals, I thought, when he was looking outside and watching his guys celebrate. So I think if LeBron says, hey, guys, we're going to win 6 – LeBron could legitimately probably say something like, guys, we're going to win 4 games. I'm going to play 75. Kyrie's going to win MVP. That, like, why would that be out of the question? Like, I don't see why it couldn't happen. I mean, Kyrie's great. They're going to be the best team in the East. We know that. We know they're going to be better than they were last year, I think. And if LeBron wants that to take place, then I just don't see why it couldn't be a reality.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. You know, LeBron has so much influence, and like you said, he could just be like, you know, guys, I want Kyrie to take on a bigger role this year, give him the ball more, you know, especially with no backup point guard, really. I know you said Kay Felder, but, like, they're going to probably play Kyrie a lot of minutes. And if he's healthy, he's able to perform, especially with this type of team. I think if he worked on his playmaking, it would help him, like playmaking as in passing more so, you know, to his teammates and setting them up. But also, Matthew made a good point. It's tough to win MVP with LeBron on your team, and it's going to be hard for him to outproduce Russell Westbrook in OKC.
I have a question.
One thing
sorry about that, Nick. Do you think that Dame Lillard has a better shot or Kyrie for, you know, MVP discussion next year?
I think Kyrie, just because his team's going to win more games.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And I don't know. I feel like Dame just doesn't get much respect around the league.
I mean, I'm looking at their stats, and it's like 19.7 and then 4.7 assists for Kyrie last year.
It's harder to do that it's hard. The numbers are great but like Love, when he was putting up those numbers in Minnesota, like it's harder to put up numbers on a better team.
Yeah, you're right. And exactly. I just think that's why, kind of in my mind, that's why I don't think that he's going to be in the discussion at the end of the year. I don't know.
I think that, and honestly, Irving's got a better shot than Curry. I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I think no one on the Warriors has a shot. So
yeah, for sure.
And I think another thing that plays into it is, like, do you really think that if Kyrie had it going all year long, and LeBron's not going to be the player to be like, hey, man, you got to stop. I got to be in the MVP talks. Like, if Kyrie's doing his thing all season, like, LeBron will be more than happy to be like, hey, man, go win the MVP, like, as long as you win the title.
Yeah, so that's
Exactly.
a great point. So let's take a look. And we look at the top 3 guys. I mean, obviously we know Westbrook is the front runner out of the gates.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at that take a look at that on our website. I think like Leonard will be in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put LeBron in it regardless.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Irving is going to be there.
Paul George, I think I don't know if he'll be top
Chris
5.
Paul, if the Clippers are like amazing, would be in the talks maybe. Like if the Clippers got off to like a very good start, he could probably be in the discussion.
Yeah. Chris Paul's always in the contention just because he has such a huge impact on the game. Let's talk.
Jeremy Lin could be. No, I'm just kidding.
Lin Sanity 2.0, but God bless. Yeah. Let's talk about Kevin Love a little bit. You know, like he fit in better last season. He did struggle at points in the finals. He was benched. You know, I think he had some nice defensive plays though in Game 7 that really impacted the game late in the fourth quarter. How do you think he'll fit this season? Where do you see him improving, or maybe getting traded? What do you think?
No, I don't think he's going to get traded this year. I think he's one of the most scrutinized players in the NBA, and I don't know why, really. I mean, he comes in, obviously coming off the Timberwolves years where he was, the star of the show. It's hard to fit in with LeBron and Kyrie, who get so much attention, but the dude puts up a double-double every night, and I think he does his job so well. And to be the stretch forward that pretty much every team wants in the league, I think he'll do the exact same thing this year, and I don't see why that would even change. But I like his game, and I think he's not necessarily underrated, but maybe doesn't get enough credit for the things that he does for the team.
And LeBron is a great leader. Don't get me wrong, but this is the second time this has happened where the big 3, the third guy, has kind of been an outcast, and people were very critical of the way Chris Bosh was playing in the Miami years, but he was definitely an integral part of their multiple championships. And just like I said last year, Love's defense on Curry was so surprising, but he finally got comfortable. Like there was a time where Love wasn't even in the pictures after the game, and that was
bad for him, kind of.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. They're we didn't want to make it a race thing, obviously, because that's not where we want to take this. But why was Kevin Love not hanging out with his teammates? That was
sometimes after the games you'd hear he wouldn't even get invited to the club or something. Is he, maybe he's just an awkward dude, or I don't know.
I don't think that's the case. I think I've heard stories about Kevin Love being a chill guy. I think he just didn't get along. There's a lot of things to look at there, but when you have a 3-headed monster, I think if they would just kind of let Love be Love. In the first quarter of games, they usually feature Kevin Love. If you guys realize that, in the first quarter, Love will score 12, 14 points, and then won't touch the ball for the rest of the 3 quarters. Let this man get 20 tonight. I don't get it sometimes. I think I don't know what it is, but I hope this year maybe they figure the whole thing out and win 60 some odd games. But Kevin Love is one of those guys that obviously was a dominant player in Minnesota. He comes to Cleveland. They make the finals twice. He was hurt in the playoffs after Kelly Olynyk tried to rip his arm off. And then in last year's finals, they won. So I think, if you look at his numbers, I'm going to have to look at his numbers from last year. Does anybody know, off the top of their head what he was?
16-10.
That's what he was last year?
Yeah.
So that's solid.
Underestimate the fact that he's a very good basketball player. He has a good basketball IQ. Obviously, he can work on his defense, and I think that's something he probably focused on in the offseason. I think he kind of understands his role a little bit better now.
Yeah.
And they'll probably give him some more touches because they're kind of feeling more confident in him as well.
Very interesting stat. He's attempted 12.7 shots in both seasons with Cleveland. That's coming down from 19, 16, and 18 in Minnesota. It's always an adjustment for a guy that's been the man his whole life. Up until 25, Kevin Love has been catered by everybody in his entire life, from probably about the age of 15 to 25. Everybody was like, Kevin, you can get what you want. Kevin, you can get what you want. He probably even went to the toy store when he was 9 and his parents gave him what he wanted. Because they knew what kind of player he was going to be. The guy averaged 15 rebounds a game in the NBA in Minnesota at 22 years old. So to go from that to this is probably not easy, but he's a champion now.
I mean, like you talked about Harris, kind of going back to the Chris Bosh, the third player with LeBron outcast thing.
Yeah.
They don't win a championship in Miami without Chris Bosh, and they don't win, one in Cleveland without Kevin Love. So he's like, as much scrutiny as people want to, throw his way, he's so important to this team.
Agreed.
Yeah, very true. I think they would miss him if they lost him. So on to the next question, though. Are the Cavs going to be better or worse this season?
I'm going to go better. They didn't lose anybody. I don't see why they're going to be, they can't be just as good as they were last year. I felt like if you would say how many wins, just off the top of your head, did the Cavs win last year, you'd say at least 60. But they missed the mark by 3 with 57. So I think they'll break 60 this year. And obviously the playoff run they're going to be on is, a talk for another time. But I do think they'll win at least 60 this year.
Yeah, I think
to quote Jay-Z, if Jesus is playing LeBron, I'm playing Kevin Love. I got Kevin Love having a great season. So I got the Cavs winning 62 games. And I think they're going to there's going to be points at times where they go on those long winning streaks. The reason I say that is because after LeBron won his first title in 2012 against the Thunder, the following year they just looked so relaxed. And they went out and had that you remember that 27-game winning streak they had?
Yeah.
In the process, LeBron actually ended Jason Terry's NBA career.
Oh my Lord.
Jason James, as you refer to him.
Yeah, that's Jason James. That's his adopted son. Yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
Because of what Terry had said to him in the 2011, I believe in the 2011 finals, his trash talk got so bad to a point where I think Terry said something about LeBron's mother or something. So
he dunked on him.
Yeah, so he basically sent him to basketball heaven. And his soul left his body, as a lot of people would say. So
basketball heaven or hell?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of trash.
That's a talk for another time.
Yeah, nobody here is God. So with that being said, I think that the Cavs are going to be better. I think they're going to have an 18 or 20-game winning streak somewhere sandwiched in this season. And I think they're going to win like 62 or 63 games.
And I think you said it perfectly. A LeBron team, after they win a championship, they're so relaxed.
Yeah.
There's not going to be as much pressure on this team, even LeBron himself. So I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch, and I think they'll definitely be better and get 60-plus wins. Final prediction for this team.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so I'll go at least 60. 1 seed in the East. I don't think anyone in this world is going to, debate that. I do have them winning it all. But, obviously there's a lot that's going to go on this season. And I like how you guys talked about this team is going to be really relaxed coming off that title win. And I think a lot of that that plays into that is the fact that LeBron finally, achieves what he's been wanting to achieve since he came out of high school. He wants to win it for Cleveland. So I think that he got that done, checked that off. So I think the sky's the limit for him, and he's just going to keep adding it on to his legacy now.
Well, this is the fountain. LeBron has touched the fountain of youth. They cloned him, and he's like 27 again. So he made Richard Jefferson look younger. He'll make Channing Frye and Dunleavy look younger. And this is going to be one of those situations where I think they'll go like 36-5 at home. And probably that would make them like 27-14 on the road or something like that. I don't know. They're going to be really tough. And, with the starting lineup of Kyrie, J.R. Swish, I refuse to call him that. I'm sorry. J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson, that lineup alone, if those guys were all forced to play 48 minutes a night, would win 50-something games. So it's going to be very tough. I think we might just see Warriors-Cavs Part 3, which I know the NBA wants to see, and might just not suspend anybody because of it. So, listen, it's a conversation for another day also, but the NBA really would like to see Part 3 of this series.
Yeah, I would like to see Part 3 of the series as well. Like we mentioned, 60-plus wins for the Cavs, number one.
Wait, you don't want to see the Nets Warriors, Nick?
Come on, Nick.
Come on.
I don't want to see that. But I don't think it's possible, so I'm going to be realistic over here. I'm not a Knicks fan.
Yeah, okay.
I think, too, going back to LeBron, you talked about fountain of youth, the dude's only missed, 1 or 2 games, I think, for injury. Unless he's being rested or anything, the
longest stretch he ever missed, I
the
think,
game.
he rested his back for that stretch.
Yeah. So he as physical as he plays, and he gets kind of beat up every night. It's so impressive that he doesn't miss any games, really.
I have to like a quick 10-second LeBron story. This was in 2013, the Knicks and Heat were playing. I think this was like March of 2013. Game was on ABC. It was a Sunday, and the Knicks were having a great year. And this is when everyone was like, yo, the Knicks could beat the Heat. The Knicks are going to the finals, blah, blah. And I was like, everybody calm down, relax. LeBron was on a fast break, and, like, it looked like he, like, tore his ACL. Like, his knee, like, went backwards. And he got up and started running. I'm like, yo, this guy is just not human.
He's a freak.
So him and Westbrook are both, to me, from Mars, and I refuse until I see evidence that they were born here. Refuse to think otherwise. So LeBron is different. He's just different from everybody else, and that's just how it is.
I don't see how Westbrook doesn't get hurt from how he plays.
Like, he did get hurt once.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like every night he goes out and he never stops from like the start of the game to the end. He hammers the rim. It's like he's so
tough as rocks. Final prediction though for me for the Cavs, I'm gonna agree with Matthew. For some reason, I feel like they're gonna win the championship again. I just feel like it's tough for the Warriors to win. Everything's not gonna go their way. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, and I don't like to bet against the king.
Well, what's a king to a god? Steph Curry? No, I'm just kidding.
Stop.
No, you know what? It's gonna be interesting. Without Durant, they're one game away. Are we going to see part 3? This is the storyline. This could be potentially the most anticipated NBA Finals matchup maybe since the Magic and Bird days. Is that fair to say? I don't know.
I think you might be right about that. I mean, everybody wants to see it. Like we've heard it around the NBA already. All like the NBA fans, NBA media. It's expected to be Cavs versus Warriors again. I don't think anybody else really expects another team to get there.
Yeah, no, it's 100% fair to say.
So. I mean, I'll be happy to see it too. So,
yeah, I'll have to come over and we'll all get an OTG party going. We'll get the popcorn and everything like that.
Get your popcorn ready, as Tio would say. On to League Pass. This is a dumb question, but are you going to watch the Cavs on League Pass?
Nope, they're very boring. No, I'm just kidding. No, yes, of course, every game. I mean, I don't know how to even explain. Like, it's just the Cavs and the Warriors are just two teams you want to see play every game if it's possible for you. So, yes, I would be watching every game.
As long as J.R. Smith doesn't play more than 30 minutes.
Oh, come on.
J.R.'s improved.
Come on, Harris. Come on.
He ruined the Knicks season in 2013.
Oh.
I will not forgive him for that. Hey, I heard that he was chasing after Rihanna during the playoffs. So for that, I do not forgive JR.
Well, she has her eyes on LeBron, so I mean he's out of luck.
Well, she's also a gold digger, so that's another conversation.
Talking about Drake's girl like that? Damn.
Come on, shots.
Sorry. Hey, can we cut that out so Drake doesn't?
You're getting sued. You're gonna get sued for that.
I'm sorry, but it's true though. Even
I don't think she needs to be a gold digger though. She makes plenty of money herself. I'm sure she's like over 100 million.
No, I'm sure she does.
She's well
that's
off.
Great and all, but like, I don't know. Like, is LeBron a good looking?
Conspiracy theory.
Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know. Like, 6'8", 250. That's like, I don't know. Like,
but he's like the best.
We're on the wrong track here.
Yeah, you're on the wrong track. But I mean, LeBron's the best player in the NBA.
No,
so
I'm comfortable with my. Like I said, I said this before. I'm comfortable with my sexuality to say things like that. Like, out of all the guys in the world, you want to go after LeBron James?
No, you're right. Not a smart idea. No, not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what his wife's capable of, but listen, I know we got off track. But J.R. Smith is so frustrating to me because as a diehard Knicks fan in 2013, we waited so many years to get back there. And if he was really doing that, it is disappointing. The reality of the situation is he was the sixth man of the year that year.
Yeah, he had a great season for the Knicks. I mean, he did disappoint, but leave J.R. Smith for another day. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll watch a lot of Cavs games. You want to watch LeBron James, you want to watch Kyrie, you want to watch Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, even J.R. Smith, Harris. You still want to watch him. You want to see what he's going to do. So I'll tune into a lot of Cavs games. They got a lot of national TV games as well, so it's hard not to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I was messing around with J.R. Like, I always thought he was like a good dude, but maybe he just got caught up in the moment. But on to the truth, which, the truth is, if JR plays more than 30 minutes, I'm not going to watch them play.
All right, but on to the real truth, the emoji for the Cavs. I think it's the same one we used last year. I'm going to go with the crown because I think LeBron reminded everyone last year it's still his league. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's the king. I guess, I have to, all hail the king, blah, blah, blah. Go, whatever. You got this one, Matt.
I think that's too easy. It's the crown, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world. There's no doubt about that. But
I think he could throw the fire emoji maybe, because I think like Harris, like you said, they can get hot in the middle of the season or something, long streak. So maybe
in
fire.
a league full of 3-point shooters, LeBron James last year shot 30% from 3.
Wow.
So listen, that just speaks volumes to his greatness and his ability to dominate the game without having to be what everybody else is. He made 1 3 game last year, and in his career has never made 2 a game. So to speak on his greatness, that's impressive.
Yeah, that, like you said, that's very impressive, especially when the game's revolved around 3-point ball. I think that he'll probably be a little bit better shooting threes this season. I don't know why. I feel like he really worked on it. Obviously, he works on it every year, but he started to pick it up, and he hit some big threes in the finals.
He did. His career high, he shot 40% from 3 in Miami.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a confidence thing. The same thing with his free throw percentage. Obviously, we know he can do it. It's just like it's in his head.
Yeah. That's why I think that, like Jason James would say, you got to try to get in LeBron's head. If LeBron's in your head, you're done.
Yeah. But you got to be careful because you don't want to rattle him like, Draymond Green and then Klay Thompson talking shit about him. Like
why do you got to try to – you don't want to wake up the beast?
Exactly. That was, you could literally probably say a good chunk of the blame is on Draymond and Klay Thompson for them losing the finals because, LeBron was doing well, but, he turned it up to a whole nother level.
Yeah, that was the Pistons' fault, right? Round 1. That's why they got swept because of Stanley Johnson. Pistons were going all the way,
Well, the Warriors were, again, 48 minutes away from being back-to-back champs. And I also think that if they won that title, Durant would either still be in OKC or probably in Boston. I don't think
he wouldn't be on the Warriors.
Yeah, I don't
think
you could go to a team that's won 2 in a row. You just can't take that chance.
Yeah, it would look so bad.
Yeah.
It would look so bad. I mean, it already looks bad, but that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, that would make it
wraps it up. That wraps it up for the reigning champs, Cleveland Cavaliers. On to our number 1 team. Thanks, you guys. Great show. And thanks, everybody, for the support. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us and follow us on Twitter.